Welcome back. I'm Jane Sleight-Leach, and welcome to video 2 in this Creating Peace and Balance workbook guide series on YouTube. So we're going to go straight back to the screen sharing of the workbook. So I'll just bring that back up to the place where we left off. So we were discussing in the last video the EFT tapping points. So we'll just run through those again as a little recap. So we generally start with our sessions, with our little rounds of EFT, we like to call them, with we call it either the karate chop point, traditionally it's been called that, or the side of the hand point. So we use this as our setup phase, and we usually make a statement 3 times around what is going on for us and what is the issue that we want to work on. And for this series of videos, we're going to work on general anxiety. So we might say something like, even though I'm feeling this anxiety right now relating to whatever it might be for you, it can be many things. We'll say perhaps a test that's coming up, or a work deadline that's coming up, perhaps. Even though I'm feeling this anxiety right now, feel where it is in your body. I love and accept myself, or I accept myself and I am present here in this moment, something along those lines. You can work out what feels right for you, and what feels comfortable for you, what feels, relevant. So that's the side of the hand. So the next point is the top of the head. It's called the universal point because this is where all of the meridian points meet and cascade down the body. The meridians mirror on both sides, so it doesn't really matter which side we are tapping on. We can tap on one side or another, or both, if that feels comfortable for you. So top of the head, and we generally tap around 7 or 8 times, or longer, depending on, again, what feels comfortable for you. The next point is the eyebrow point. So it's the inner corner of the eyebrow near the bridge of your nose. And again, just using a couple of fingers, tapping gently on that point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work better the harder you tap. It's just a nice, gentle, comfortable tap, tap, tap. Lightly bouncing your fingers off the point. You don't want to do yourself any damage or give yourself a black eye. The next point is on the outer corner of the eye. So we're literally following the bone around the eye orbit from this point to this point on the outer corner. And then down below the eye. If you look, go directly down from where your pupil is, just again around that bony area underneath the eye. Then we move down to under the nose. So you're going between the nose and the top lip in that little dip above your lip. Just one finger there is fine. And then down to the crease of your chin. Again, 1 or 2 fingers. 7 or 8 times is fine. And then we go to the collarbone point, so about halfway across your collarbone, and I usually just use the flats of my fingers for this one. And again, partly on the bone, partly on the soft, fleshy part below it. Then we go underneath the arm, so if you're female, be around about where your bra strap would sit, directly down from your armpit, underneath your armpit. And I use finger points, as I said in the previous video. So if you hold your hand in front of you with your thumb pointing up and your palm facing you, we're going to tap on each corner of the nail bed at the base of the nail on the top side of each finger. Or as I said before, just pinch the whole end of your finger. You'll certainly get the point doing that. And we go across each finger, all the way down. Final point is on the back of your hand in the little dip between your tendons of your pinky and your ring finger, just about maybe a couple of centimeters back from the web of your finger. There we go. And you can hold that point as well. Put pressure on it. You can tap it, you can squeeze it, you can rub it, massage it. And that's quite a powerful point to use just by itself. If you can remember that, if you're in the heat of the moment and you just need a little bit of stress relief without, if you don't want to do the whole round on around your face and your upper body, this one's very, very useful. So they're the basic tapping points. And as we're using these tapping points, we focus in on what is the issue that we want to work on. Now, we will run through some scripts in the following video, but I'll just give an overview of how we might approach the issue that we want to work on. So we are going to work with anxiety. So we would start with, I'm feeling anxiety. I'm feeling anxious about something. If it's general anxiety and you're not really sure what it is that's creating this anxiety, that's okay. We can just work with anxiety. But generally, there might be a stimulus for the anxiety. It might be a reason. It's something that's coming up. Usually and generally, anxiety is something that you're focusing on in the future that you're worrying about. So it's future focused. So it's generally some kind of imagination about how things might go or might not go for you, and what perhaps what consequences there might be, or perhaps about not being good enough to complete something. So have a feel into what it is that is creating this sense of anxiety for you. In your thinking mind, how is your mind working? Is it racing? Is it catastrophizing? Is it creating those worst case scenarios? What's happening there? And how does it feel in your body? Especially, where do you feel it in your body? So I tend to feel anxiety in my upper chest, in my chest area. That's a very typical area. And it feels like I'm a little bit short of breath, a little bit tight in the chest. It could be somewhere else for you. So everybody has this unique way of feeling things. So just take a moment as you're watching. You can pause this video if you want to focus in on if you are experiencing some kind of anxiety right now. Just focus on where it is in your body. I will work with upper chest because that's relevant for me. You substitute wherever it is for you. It could be your stomach. It could be, tension in your neck and shoulders. It could be even in your head. It will feel a little more intense and a little bit more physical in certain areas. So, and you can jot these down if you want to. Just make some notes around how it is you're feeling, where is it you're feeling it. And the last thing that I usually try to kind of extract, going a little bit deeper into this feeling, is if it were to have a color, what would the color of anxiety be? Whatever comes up first for you, don't try to overthink it. It might not make sense to you, but if we can work with a color, this is actually creating a separate identity for this feeling that you're having from your own personal core self. Because with EFT, we're working with the subconscious mind. So the subconscious is constantly trying to do its best to protect you and work for you. And if it feels that something is a part of your core being and is part of who you are and you need it for survival, it's going to be very difficult to persuade it to let it go. So this is how we use our setup statements, talking to the subconscious and phrasing it in a way that this is something I'm feeling right now. It's not part of my identity or who I am. And I'm safe. I am safe within my core self. This thing that I'm feeling, this anxiety, is external of me. And this is how we start to kind of loosen the grip on the sensations in the body and what we're thinking and feeling and these emotions and sensations that we're having. So have a think about the color, whether it has some kind of weight or density. Does it feel heavy? Does it feel tight? Does it feel like it's gripping you? There are lots of different sensations that I've heard over the years of people's different descriptions of what they're feeling. Some people have felt things like it feels like sandpaper that's grating on the inside of me. Someone else has described it as like feeling like birds pecking at me. There are lots of different ways, and you will have your own unique way of describing how it feels, and that's perfect. The more personal and more personal details that you can bring through, the more effective and deeper we can go with this. So get creative. And again, if you want to pause the video here and have a feel into it, please do, and get yourself a notebook or a journal and just jot some of these things down as they come to you. So we have the sensation, we have where it is in our body, we have its color and other descriptions, its weight, its density, and other things that might come along with that, other sensations. So we can start to work with it now. So we'll end this video here. So you can have a few moments before we go on to the next video, and then we'll get into the routine. And I'll see you soon.